Warning: this video is aimed at providing audio-visual entertainment and at keeping the audience informed on happenings or current events. It is not intended to damage the image of any company, person, or product mentioned herein. We recommend that discretion be exercised by our viewers. Welcome to a new video. Ford Motor Company is one of the most recognized American automotive manufacturers worldwide, based in Michigan, United States. With over 110 years of experience in the automotive industry, this company has created a variety of car designs that, due to their cost and recognition, have positioned themselves in the midst of the first place in the world among people with average financial status. I'm going to show you the secrets, curiosities, and some of the darker sides of this international company. In this video, I'll unveil the secrets of Ford Motor Company. Let's start. The history of this iconic company dates back to 1903, when the company was founded by 12 shareholders who contributed $28,000 in total. The famous owner, Henry Ford, was at that time the vice president, but in 1908, he became president, and it was then when the sales of this company were boosted with the model he created called the Ford Model T. Its success was such that they had to move to a bigger facility. Later in 1919, Ford, together with his son, bought the share of the company held by the other shareholders. Thus, he became the sole owner, and since then, the company has had a member in the family as president. Currently, this famous brand is worldwide. In addition, the net sales registered by Ford at the end of 2016 were $4.6 billion, almost 40% less than the sales in 2015. Curiosities. Ford was building a new factory that would be located in the city of San Luis Potosi, Mexico. At this site, Ford would employ about 2,800 people and also manufacture the new Ford Focus, which would later be sold in all of Mexico since the country represents about 6% of Ford's total sales. However, after Trump's arrival to the White House, he stated that American companies that had operations outside the United States would have to pay a rate of 35% for products manufactured overseas. After doing some calculations, Ford decided that it would cost them too much to create the Ford Focus in Mexico. Thus, they abandoned the project and moved to China, where labor was cheaper. There was a case back in 1971 when Ford launched a famous and much desired Ford Pinto. The car at this time was one of the most desired models. However, nothing is perfect, and the Ford Pinto had two big and deadly flaws. The first was that the fuel tank was placed at the back of the car, which was poorly designed, because if the car experienced an impact, the fuel could spill and cause a fire. The second problem was that if the Ford Pinto experienced an impact at 25 miles per hour or greater, its design couldn't withstand the blow, and the car would spin 90 degrees. Besides this, after the impact, the doors were locked down automatically, thus preventing the driver from exiting the car. Because of these problems, there were about 500 deaths during the 8-year sale of the Ford Pinto, since the car caught fire after a collision and the driver wasn't able to get out the car because the door had locked. There were investigations, and it was determined that Ford was aware of these problems, but they knew if they tried to change all their production, they would lose a lot of money. So they sold the car as is with those problems, hoping nothing would go wrong. Ford was subsequently sued 177 times by the affected families, and the company lost every time, paying some compensation to these families. Ford was finally forced to recall about 1.5 million of these Pintos to be analyzed and thus avoid more deaths. Have you ever wondered what the Ford logo means? All the logos of the company include the name of the same, the first logo that was used since the beginning of the company. This one has 4 black hexagons where each contains a letter of the name. This was used until 1906, when the logo that contains the letter F and D with wing styles was created. This one was used until 1910, since in 1911 a more perfected one was used, where the same style of the F and D wings were used, but this time inside of a black oval with a white outline. However, to change this logo, they created a new one in 1912 with wings. to allude to the wing letters, and they also added a slogan, the Universal Car. Subsequently, in 1927, the logo was changed again as it was in 1911. However, this time the oval was a little longer. This emblematic logo remained for many years until finally, in 1976, it was changed to the famous and distinctive blue and silver oval logo that we see in Ford cars today. Now let's take a look at some cases involving Ford Motor Vehicles. The first case was known in 3 countries of the American continent. Earlier this year, a serious problem was reported with Ford cars, which put consumers at risk for more than 5 years. According to reports, since August 2013, some drivers of Ford vehicles had reported problems, specifically on 2 car models. However, it wasn't until March 14, 2018, that it was made official by the company. Ford specified that it was the Ford Fusion and Lincoln MKZ models from 2014 to 2018. These cars were produced between August 2013 and February 2016 in the United States, and between July 13th and March 2018 in Mexico. The problem was in the nut that held the steering wheel into the steering column, as it tended to loosen, which could cause the control of the vehicle to be lost, thereby causing an accident. From this pool of cars, over 1.3 million belonged to the United States, 62,000 to Canada, and 14,000 to Mexico. Finally, the company made it clear that its primary objective is the safety of its customers, showing that Ford is and remains a quality brand. It also stated that so far, not a single accident or injury had been reported for this reason. The second case occurred a few months ago in the northern part of the United States. In August 2017, an investigation was carried out by an organization since cases of abuse had been reported in some branches of the Ford Motor Company. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, conducted an investigation at 2 Ford factories located in the northeastern part of the United States. This was because of some reports that had been made by the workers who called the attention of this organization. According to the investigation, it was reported that those affected were African American employees and women who were being racially discriminated against and on the receiving end of sexual harassment. Some unofficial sources claimed that Ford had retaliated against these employees who had reported them. However, it was announced that the company was collaborating with the EEOC to address all complaints of discrimination and harassment, and thereby improving Ford's policies and procedures. However, Ford still had to pay the amount of a little more than $10 million in terms of settlements, and thus preventing the conflict from spreading even more. Finally, the EEOC commented that its objective was to enforce workers' rights by demanding a healthy work environment. To maintain that, Ford committed to offering training to its employees on the correct way to behave with their colleagues and thus avoid any potential discrimination or harassment in the future. The third case was made famous by the news. On July 16, 2017, illegal material was discovered hidden inside Ford automobiles in the southern United States. According to reports, the 2017 Ford Fusion were manufactured at the Ford Hermosillo factory located in Sonora, northern Mexico, where they were later exported to the United States. However, between July 7th and July 11th of that same year, a dealership in Youngstown noticed something strange when checking the car, just in the compartment where the spare tire would go. There he found an anomaly. Instead of the tire, it contained 2 bags in the shape of a half moon, both of which were full of marijuana. Silverio Balzano, a DEA agent, explained that according to his investigations, the drug was exchanged for the spare tire during the process in which the car was being transported to the United States. This had to have been when it occurred because when the car left the factory in Mexico, they were in perfect condition and included the spare tire. Agent Balzano commented that there were similar situations in the states of Ohio, Minnesota, and Michigan, 16 such cars in fact. Finally, Ford gave a statement in which they explained that when the cars left the facilities in Hermosillo, they were in perfect condition. For more than a century, Ford has proven to be one of the most important automobile manufacturers in the world, creating a variety of vehicles to meet every budget and its needs. Now that you know the secrets of Ford, I'd like to know your opinion. What do you think about the case of the illegal material found in the vehicles? or the other problems that Ford has experienced. Here are some previous videos. Just click, find them in the description, or use the annotations that appear at the top. If you want to see more videos like this, support me with a like on Facebook and subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notifications for new updates. All right, we'll see you soon with new videos. Take care.